How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's good to be back again on this frigid Arctic cold day.
I know. It's horrible. I don't know how people in Alaska do this, like, for an entire...
Well, then it's different then, because they're used to it, you know? But people think we're used to that here in Denver, but we're really not.
I'm used to, like, oh, it's 30 degrees, fine with me, and it's sunny, and so it still feels warm.
Right.
Not this negative 25 wind chill.
Was it even zero for the high today?
I might have been -1.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really
fun.
cold.
Like, up here in Evergreen, we've actually been a little bit warmer than...
Really? Isn't that weird?
So, because, heat rises or something.
I guess.
Something like that in chemistry or math.
Well, no, what it is the cold air doesn't climb the mountains. Only hot air climbs the mountains.
Climbs mountains. Like, well, hot air got here.
That's why you're up here.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, let's talk about hot air people. So, anyway... The Super Bowl
happened.
And now those of us, being from the Denver area and all, it didn't really go the way we planned it.
Oh, not at all. I mean, everybody just knew we were going to win.
It was crazy. Like, every statistic and everything was... I'm like, you guys are hyping it up too much. You're going to get... I just knew. I was like, there's going to be a letdown.
Oh, and there was.
And then in the first 12 seconds of the game, there's this big...
Safety.
Like, oh my God.
Like, it was
where
terrible.
Did it go?
You see the pictures of the memes of his face?
Like, oh my God. Yeah, that
terrible.
was pretty... It was bad. I mean, in that first, I was like, oh God, I'm going to have to really drink a lot more now because this is going to be just... Either it's going to be like a huge nightmare or it's going to be really super close, and then it just didn't...
It never panned out. It was bad. But there was a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm ashamed to be a fan and blah, blah, blah. And like, well, they had a really good year and they did the best they could.
They've had a great last... I mean, really, if you look at it, the last 3 years have been really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the last 2 years with Peyton, sure, we were out the first round of playoffs the last 2 years, really, but...
Well, Peyton, this is Peyton Manning's first year.
This was his second year.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought last year was Tim Tebow still, or was that the year before?
Oh,
wow.
Speaking of that, jackass.
His commercial?
Yes.
I thought it was pretty funny.
I was like, the only reason that they got... I wondered if the Broncos weren't in this Super Bowl, would they have... Well, maybe if it was the Jets in the Super Bowl, too, maybe they would have gotten Tebow, too.
Right.
For that commercial, but really,
I thought it was pretty funny. He made fun of himself, and it was fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't like it.
I didn't care for it, but I didn't ever care for him unless he was shirtless or,
right.
I mean, at least I was just happy that Eric Decker and my little Welker, they weren't hurt during the game,
right? And
then that big old bitch Sherman got himself hurt at the end.
Well, both Decker and Welker and somebody else too. I can't remember his name, but the guy with the long blonde hair. Super cute.
Oh
guy.
yeah.
Anyways, all three of them are free agents, and they're all.
Oh no.
They all might be gone next year. If we don't re-sign them or if we don't pay them enough money. I watched Eric Decker in an interview, and he was like, "Well, I got to do what's best for my family." Yeah, because the $30 million a year you're making here isn't as much as the $32 million this place will offer you or whatever.
Exactly. Whatever.
Yeah, it kind of sickens me.
It does.
What do you do?
I mean, that wasn't the only commercial that I mean, a lot of the commercials were just kind of a letdown. It wasn't...
I didn't think there was any really memorable commercial. The little puppy and the horse.
That was my favorite.
That was cute, yes.
So, and I even had to rewind because I had to get up and go to use the restroom. And I heard, oh, shit, that was where that commercial was. So I had to rewind and... Oh, just so cute. But it was cute. It was like the Budweiser commercial last year with the Clydesdale that the guy trains, he's training the Clydesdale, gives him 2, Budweiser or whatever. Goes to the parade, thinks the horse didn't see him, and then the horse chases the car.
Right.
That one was cute too. So.
It is, yeah.
And then the other Budweiser commercial was the welcome home for the vet.
Yes.
Which I did see a lot of.
That was neat.
It was really good. I saw a lot of positive on Facebook about that one. So, but then, the big.
I'd like to teach the world to sing.
That's not the song.
I know, but that's who it is.
No, they were singing our national anthem.
I know what they were singing. I was just giving a hint as to who the company was.
And it's not our national anthem either.
Oh, whatever. It's a poem about Colorado.
It's a poem about Colorado, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, it was about Pikes Peak originally. But the Coca-Cola America the Beautiful commercial, the minute. So, it started, and I was like, then they start singing the song in Spanish. And I was like, oh, wow, this is going to piss off a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, Do people not realize that what they put on the internet, someone can screen print it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no, but do they... I know you can, but I mean, these people have these horrible, horrible things.
I think those people are so ignorant that they don't care if people see it.
You know, I mean, it was just so either racist or like, we're in America. I like the ones that, you know, this is America. Our national anthem shouldn't be sung in Spanish. Well, it's not our national anthem for one, and you're stupid for two. But, you know, like, maybe you need to find out what our national anthem is before you call yourself an American.
Well, America's a melting pot, you know. I mean, that's what it is.
It's exactly what it is, and that's what Coca-Cola's commercials I thought. Because even I'd like to teach the world to sing or whatever. That commercial had, you know, but it was every country.
Right, it wasn't just America.
It wasn't just America. But yeah, I mean, I could just see, like, some of the Twitter and some of the stuff from that commercial has just been, I'm just embarrassed for these people. And, you know, they put their names in it. You know, they will put their names on the screen.
Right.
So I've actually gone and looked at a couple of these people on Twitter, and, you know, I've thought of, like, replying, but there's already, like, 100 replies down there anyway.
I'm sure they've got tons.
Yeah.
And hate now, and people threatening to kill them, you know.
Which,
you're intolerant, so we're going to kill you.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, it's just an oxymoron.
You're intolerant, so we're going to kill you. I was just going to say, like, you're stupid, you know?
Right, exactly.
Because... really, you're just stupid. Like,
you know, okay, but let me be the protagonist here or whatever. A lot of people are offended because they're not speaking. It wasn't the fact that they were people of different national origins. It's the fact that they weren't speaking English.
They weren't speaking English.
Because, you know, they feel like you live in America, you should speak English. That's the language here. You know, and I kind of see where they're coming from. Because when my grandparents moved here and my great-grandparents from like Italy and Germany and all that, they learned English. They acclimated, and that's what made them American. They didn't live in. I mean, there is Little Italy and all that, you know, but they didn't live there. You know, they became Americans,
right?
And that's why I think a lot of people are upset, but most of the people are just ignorant.
It was just ignorant.
Weird.
I mean, I can understand. Like, I understand. Like that side of it, like the educated side of it, but just the stupid side. Because, you know, I don't like to oprima dos.
Right.
You know, one, uno.
I like it when you call one of those lines and they're like, if you'd like Spanish, please press 2 now. And they say it in English. And it's like, well, if you speak Spanish, what good does that do you?
That didn't do you any good. Like, por español, oprima dos. Okay. That's all I know how to say. Like, I just want to go to, like, when you go to Mexico, oh, por español es oprima dos, you know, or whatever.
Dos.
Like, dos. Yeah. Like, what are you saying, you stupid fat bitch?
Is that what they're saying to you?
Yeah. Like, eat another taco, cow.
Oh, Lord.
But and then even like I'm always like the GoDaddy commercials. I just think,
I thought that one was horrible. And that was Danica Patrick, all like muscled out like that.
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't really muscled out. But.
You know, it was all photoshopped or whatever they do.
It was pretty
days.
funny though.
But I just have never been a fan of GoDaddies. I think their commercials are just I mean, it's just sexist, disgusting.
That's all it is.
And I personally don't host any web through GoDaddy, and that's because I don't like the commercials. I don't like, you know, and they're cheap. Yeah, sure, they're cheap, but I just don't like, I don't want to host. They don't get my business because they have these great commercials or whatever. You know, I won't go to them because they have these, just what I think are disgusting commercials. Like, I don't. It doesn't. There's a time, and you know, they don't need to have that. Like, why does it have to be like this? Such a
slutty girl on America, you know, all of America's watching.
Or even like the Carl's Jr. ads where like some cute girl.
Well, who was it? Who did the first one? What was her name? Paris Hilton.
Yeah, and she was all like, "Here's my taco on a car."
Well, she didn't do that.
Here's
but...
my burger. Like, look at me spread this.
Then they did the male version of it. I like that one.
Yeah, that one. I did. Okay. So now if GoDaddy would actually do a commercial, and they did have like all the buff dudes. And there were a couple porn stars in that, apparently.
Oh, were there? I didn't know,
I saw a thing after.
That I recognized.
That said that there were these 2 porn stars in it, and I went and had to go look them up, and, well, I didn't recognize their faces. But, oh, there it is. I know that.
I recognize that.
I know what that is. What was the other? there just really weren't that many that were memorable. And I actually missed, like, so they were teasing 24 the whole time. And I missed, like, the final tease. I didn't see the actual, date and stuff for 24 coming out. Because I think it happened after... It must have happened before they were given, like, the Lombardi trophy or whatever. Because I did. I stayed with the game the whole time. Until that blue confetti like popped out, that I was like, "Fuck this!
I'm out of here." I've seen enough.
I was like, "I'm done." I stuck with it the whole time. I didn't turn it at like third quarter, like I saw a lot of people on Facebook doing. Because now had it been, if it wasn't the Broncos, I probably would have put a movie in.
Right.
But because it was Broncos, like if it was Patriots. I would have stopped watching after like first quarter or something. Just because it looked like it was going to be, you just knew it was going to be a blowout.
Right.
Like you could just tell. So yeah, but I probably wouldn't have.
At first there was hope.
Yeah.
Even after there was the safety and then that first touchdown, there was still hope. We were like, all right, now we got something to come back for. They're going to get fired up. And they just didn't.
Then there were,
and they're not bad players. They wanted it bad. It just didn't work out.
Then there were some interceptions, and that's when I was like, oh. It's a good thing I didn't have like popcorn or anything in my lap because it would have just, I just threw my hands up.
It was a big disappointment. It was a big disappointment.
It was a very big disappointment.
And what about like friends of ours? Okay, so we know a lot of people, actually, believe it or not, that live in the north that are from the Northwest that live here now. And so they were like totally like straddling both. Not one. Yeah. One friend that we know in particular, who you all know too.
Oh yeah.
Was for his team. He was for the Seahawks, and like he wasn't against Denver, but he was for the Seahawks. But we had so many other friends that were all like, "Oh yeah, I could go either way, and I'm fine." And now that their team won, they're like, "I just knew it," and like this and that. And
I knew the Seahawks would beat the Broncos. And it's like, well, fuck off.
Yeah, well, you never said that ahead of time because you were straddling the fence, and like.
But that also gets me too, like the fair weather fans. Well, fine, go.
Or like people that were like, I'm ashamed to call myself a fan. Really?
Yeah, I'm ashamed of a really.
Well, then don't be a fan. I'm sure they don't care. We don't care either. If that's how you really
trust
feel.
me, I was ashamed. I was not a big fan of Tebow. I still was a fan of the Broncos.
Right. I was a fan of Tebow.
We
had this conversation. We can't get into that one again.
We think we had this conversation on our first friggin' episode.
Oh Lord. Which was a little over a year ago. It was Tim Tebow last year.
No,
because
Tebow he was playing with the Jets at that time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He had a season with the Jets, and then he's not with anybody this year. That's right. I remember.
He was with nobody this year. Last year he was with the Jets and got to play maybe once.
Gotcha.
So, so who knows? Whatever.
Who knows? Whatever. It's all water under the bridge.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, and that's one of the things too. Like everyone looks forward to the Super Bowl. It is the second biggest, binge eating day.
I believe it.
Other than
we ate so much that day. We had so much left over and so much food.
So, because we had invited a couple people over, but the weather kind of hindered people's plans.
I didn't get an invite.
I invited you, and you told me that you already had. I asked you what you were doing. You told me what your plans were, so I didn't.
But had you told me I was invited here, I might have blown off, family and come here.
Blown off family. Yeah, because I would have. I would have allowed you to do that. Like, yeah, go ahead, blow off your dying grandmother. Come to my house.
Oh, she's gone already, so it wasn't her. It wasn't her.
Please ignore your grandmother. Oh goodness! But so I mean, the food is something you look forward to. The commercials are definitely something you look forward to.
I mean, I'm gonna not lie. That's my favorite part is to see the fun commercials, and I was sorely disappointed this year.
It was just very disappointing. So it just seemed like there was a whole lot of disappointment unless you were from Seattle,
right?
So and then we did have a couple other friends that had won a trip. And were able to go to New York and actually see the game.
Well, Dan's cousin went. A friend of mine from work's cousin went. A friend of ours that we know, I won't say the name on the air, won a trip.
That's who I'm talking about.
Oh, the one from the soda company.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Well, he didn't win a trip to the game. Which he was fine with.
Oh, I thought that
he won a trip to the halftime show.
Oh, is that so he got to go onto that?
The way I understand
all he got to do. Oh.
Yeah, the way I understand it was the way it was explained to me by Dan, my partner, because he had talked to him.
Yeah,
was that they were like all those winners were like across the street at a bar or somewhere, and then right before halftime they ushered them into the stadium and then got them into the center for the. For that they were those were the people on the field.
Oh,
and then they ushered them all back out afterwards. They didn't get, but they got airfare, and hotel stay. I mean, so it was a great trip,
and they got a great, awesome concert. I mean,
it wasn't very good. I'm sorry, it wasn't.
Oh my god, I was bored to death.
Now, I think Bruno Mars is talented. I do. I don't dislike him, but he's not. Bam, you know, like the Super Bowl is always somebody like huge.
He wasn't
I'm
Madonna.
sorry, he's not.
He wasn't Beyonce. It wasn't I mean, if he would have like, at least Anthony Kiedis and Flea came out and flashed us their tits.
Yeah, but they're like 50.
If I look like that when I'm 50, I'm gonna jump out on the.
They
Super
did look
Bowl
pretty good, except for Anthony Kiedis' mustache. Well,
he looked
like a molester.
He does, and he has a 20-year-old girlfriend. I read.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, if I were him, I'd probably have a 20-year-old boyfriend.
Exactly. You know, and Flea's looking a little, but he's always looked old.
Well, that's all the drugs.
Yeah.
Did you see his thing on Facebook about how it came out that they weren't playing their instruments live? And for anybody that really paid attention, you could tell because they weren't plugged in.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they weren't plugged in. Well, and I believe Flea, not that I know him and I trust him, but I believe his explanation, it sounds believable, but that the NFL won't allow them to play live. Yeah. Everything is a pre-recorded track because they've got 12 minutes to get it done, and or whatever many minutes, and it's got to be done, so it's a pre-recorded track, only the vocals are live.
Yeah.
And, and the way he explained it, I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to be mad about that. It's not like Beyonce trying to, fake lip-sync the lip-sync.
Yeah,
that's all she does is sing, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, exactly. Because I think, there was controversy on Madonna with that one, too. That, because you could almost tell on one song that she missed a word or something, and it was like, well, what do you expect? It's 12 minutes, and you're in. I don't understand why the people who do like America the Beautiful or the Star Spangled Banner, why do you not use a vocal track? Why do they actually go out there and sing it live? Because Christina Aguilera got the words wrong. I mean, and then was scrutinized for that. She sang a great version of it, but she got the words wrong. Why don't you use the vocal? I mean, because
then why don't they just play a message? A tape.
Well, yeah, that's
put a record on, or I know not a record, but an MP3 or whatever. People want it to be live, and they do. They don't want pre-recorded, and I agree with that.
Put the needle on the record when the drum beat goes
you should know the words to our national anthem.
Well, I do like how I was seeing that it was.
You don't? I think you do.
Some rockets, red flare.
You're so full of crap. You're just playing it up for the camera. You know the words.
Bombs bursting.
We all learned them growing up.
Gave proof to the night that the flag was still there. I mean, I kind of. I can barely remember the Pledge of Allegiance. So I mean, I know
beautiful. I mean,
that's American.
No, that's our national anthem.
That's not even the national anthem.
See.
All right.
Here, let's get another drink. I think we need one.
On that note, I say we're just gonna call this an episode and have a good night.
Oh, I think we should.
But so that was our Super Bowl recap. Thanks.
It was. It wasn't so bad, and I was glad to be a part of it. For those of us that lived here in Denver, it was fun to be a part of it. Everybody got into it, and people put their differences aside for their love of the team and all that. And I'm not a huge football fan, and I don't think you are either. But it was still cool.
Oh, I will watch every game on TV. I will watch every every Bronco game, and
So, because you're a fan, or because you like to drink?
Every week I will. Well, both. So that's why I can't have season tickets, because I can't afford. I wouldn't be able to afford the ticket and go and drink.
Right, exactly.
I can drink at home for free.
Exactly, and watch it on TV for free.
Yeah, because we get a couple tickets a year, a couple games a year, and holy mother of God.
It's expensive.
It's expensive, but
I can't even afford to go
just to sit where I want to sit. I don't want to sit.
Right.
But that's me, because I'm pretentious and bitchy. So, anyway.
Ding and ding.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Oh, don't forget to reach out to us. Here's all our contact info.
Enjoy our new sponsor,
roostersnestnovelty.com.
And hopefully you saw them in the sponsor little bumper there. And we love them, and we're going to have them on an upcoming episode.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.